trading, because you doesn't look like a random person. Even your trades which you were sharing in Telegram, I found there were certain patterns in those trades which you were sharing. So please discuss rule based trading today. If someone wants to adopt a rule based trading, how and when one a person can do it.
Sure. So I'll just open this quick 2 or 3 slides that I've made to discuss this.
Great, great,
I
great,
think
great.
one of the most important things for a trader who's new to the market is not to get into too many discretionary things. It is better to get into a rule-based framework and what do you call system trading. If a person can do that, it would be very
Hmm.
beneficial. So what
Hmm.
exactly is a trading system? What we call system trading? I'll just quickly go through that. A trading system is basically a group of specific parameters that combine to create a buy or sell signal for any given
Hmm.
instrument. Now,
Hmm.
these indicators or these parameters could be technical indicators, price action related indicators, or fundamental indicators. Just
Hmm.
to
Hmm.
give you an example, what are technical indicators? It could be like a lot of people use RSI as a
Yeah.
tool to understand the price movements, right? So
Yeah.
one can use RSI, one can use MACD, ADX. These are all technical indicators. Now, what
Hmm.
is
Hmm.
price-based parameters? Price action-based parameters would be to understand the patterns in the market, to understand what is the kind of trend, what we call previous day high, previous day low, what is the action happening around these points. So all of that
Hmm.
comes in price action.
Hmm. Hmm.
And
Hmm.
indicators could be a lot of people who are good in fundamentals create their fundamental systems. For example, uh, uh, one of the very popular systems is that the 10-year system. I'm forgetting the name. Coffee can investing, right? Wherein
Yeah.
you look at certain parameters that revenue growth should be more than 10% continuously
Yeah.
for X number of years, and then you look at ROCE should be this much percentage for X number of years, and then you
Yeah.
come down to a list of 5 or 6 stocks and you invest in them for a period of 10 years. So whatever knowledge we have, whether it is in technical, fundamental, price action, even quant, we can use that to create a trading system.
Okay.
Vivek, feel free to
Yeah.
stop me if you have any. If I'm going too fast, too slow. If you have any tones or questions for me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I have a very bad habit of doing that. So not to worry.
Okay, great. So, what are some of the advantages of a trading system? First of all, it eliminates bias.
Hmm. Hmm.
Whenever we whenever we get a signal, we put in a trade.
Hmm.
That trade we have to also define when to exit. So everything is
Hmm.
like pre. There is no external influence that can change the course of the trade.
Hmm.
If you are
Hmm.
so, it will remove a lot of those biases. Emotions also are reduced to a certain extent. Indecision
Hmm.
is not there. One of the biggest things that I feel, one of the biggest challenges is when we have to make decisions as the price is moving in front of our eyes. M2M is there, price is there. So making decision at that point is very difficult. Not many people are able to do that. With
Hmm.
system, all the decisions are made for you by the system. You don't have to think too much. It
Hmm.
gives a buy
Hmm.
signal, you buy. It gives a sell signal, you sell.
Hmm. Hmm.
And also, it will bring down the over trading bit.
Right.
So whenever signal we take a trade, otherwise there is no need to trade.
Hmm.
It also adds a certain level of consistency and control. By control, I mean uh, you are able to plan your risk. You are able to plan your trades in a manner. Okay, if I risk this much, you've done some back testing. This is the kind of reward based on the
Hmm.
back testing that we can get. So it gives a certain element of control as well.
Right.
Cool. So I'll also just quickly touch upon this concept of edge. So a
Right.
trading is basically some approach, observation, or technique that gives a cash generating advantage to a
Right.
player over others in the market.
Right.
And trading edge is what differentiates between winning and losing,
Right.
trading and gambling. So there's a very thin line when people say you are trading, you are gambling. I think that
Right.
difference is done by whether you have a edge in the market or not.
Right.
So mathematically, we can define edge in a very simple manner. It's something for any given set of trades, we can calculate what is the percentage of winners, what is the average win. We
Right.
subtract, we take that, and then we deduct the percentage losers multiplied by the average loss. So this is the mathematical formula for calculating the edge.
Okay. Okay.
Couple of examples here. For example, a coin toss. We all know the probability of heads or tails is 50%. So in that case, win percentage is 50%. And if I say that if I win, I will give you 1 rupee. If you win, you will give me 1 rupee. So reward to risk is 1:1.
Right.
When we calculate the edge, it comes out to be percentage winners into average win is 1 minus percentage losers into average win. So there is no edge. So this is a
Correct.
game that is not worth playing. There is no edge. And if we add commissions to it, then the edge will become slightly negative.
Right. Right.
So a coin toss is we can think of it as a system with no edge. Now, if we
Right.
change 1 point in the coin toss, the win percentage 50%, but reward to risk changes.
Right.
We see that if I win, I get 2 rupees. If I lose, I only have to give out 1 rupee.
Right.
So now the calculation of edge will be as shown, and the edge will come out to be 0.5. This is what we call positive expectancy. So
Right.
this system has a positive expectancy, and this is a system that I would want to trade in the market. The
Right.
first system, I think that I can keep on trading every day, every month, every year, nothing will happen. But the second one is will give me some cash generating advantage over others in the market.
Right.
One quick example on what we see in the casinos or roulette,
Right.
which has 16 red boxes and 16 black boxes. You can see it over here.
Right.
And there are 15 boxes. So as a player who's going to play this game, for them the probability of winning is 16 divided by the total number of boxes, which is 34, which is around
Right.
47%. And
Right.
to risk is 1:1.
Okay.
So if we look at the edge for this, the edge of the player comes out to be minus 0.06. So it's a
Right.
very small negative edge, but a lot of people go and play this game in the casino over a long period of time. It becomes big money generating machine for the casinos.
Right. Right.
Right? So this is again a game that is not worth playing for me as a retailer. Right.
Right.
So whenever we talk about a system, the very first thing that we need to calculate is the edge of the system. If the edge
Right.
is positive, we accept the system and we trade it. If it is flat to negative, then we should
Right.
immediately discard that system.
Awesome. Awesome. Very well explained.
Yeah. So one more point which a lot of people I see focus wrongly upon. There are two components to the edge. The first component is the win percentage. If we look at the formula, okay, not this one. If you look at these two components, one is the win percentage and second one is reward to risk ratio. So the tendency in people where we look for very high win percentages. We want a win percentage of 90%, 80%, even 100%. Some people look for the holy grail as well. So we should understand is that the edge will come from these two components. We should not only focus on one component. We should always look at these two in combination. There is a possibility that a system has a win percentage of only 40%, but if the reward is 3:1, it is a very good system.
Very nice. Okay.
Right. Next point, very quickly, is, so now we know that there is an advantage of creating a system. Now the next question is, how do we actually go about creating it in a very simplistic manner? Right? So I've found a very basic flow of how we can go about creating a trading system. So we start with the idea. An idea could be anything which we expect to have an edge, right? An idea, for example, in fundamental, if one is a fundamental analyst, then we are looking at high growth, high ROC companies. If done well, they are expected to do well, so that gives you an edge. Or if you are a technical guy looking at moving crossovers, moving average crossovers, or you're looking at a combination of RSI and MACD or something of that sort, right? So there has to be a basic idea, and then with that idea we create some rules which are mechanical in nature. It should not be subjective, it should be completely objective. Right? Once those rules are created, we go back to backtest that. So for backtest, we need some data points. Whatever maximum data we can get our hands on, the more robust would be a backtest. Some people do it manually, some people do it, who are good at coding, they do automated backtesting as well. I personally go first. Whenever I get an idea, I try and frame some rules, and then I would try to backtest it for maybe a certain amount of time just to get a feel of it. And more 50-60% of the ideas get rejected at this stage in manual back. If and when manual backtest shows promise, then I move on to creating a code for it so that I can test it on a big set of data.
Okay.
And once it is backtested, we would know whether it is having a positive edge or a negative edge. If we are sure it is having a positive edge, then we will cautiously deploy it in the markets with very small capital. Just to see, whenever we backtest, there are number of assumptions that we take. So we need to deploy it in the market to ascertain whether whatever we have backtested is making sense or not.
Okay.
So we deploy it for some time, and we check the delta between the forward test and the actual results. If the delta is negligible, it means that the system is behaving as per our expectation. If the delta is too much, then there is something wrong with the assumptions or the execution that we need to dig in a bit deeper. So after deploying, we stabilize it over a period of time, and then once we are confident, we scale it. We can compound it, or we can put in additional capital to scale it further. So this is a very brief of what I think any beginner should know. One more point which I like to address, which is system hopping, which is a very popular term when it comes to system trading. So this is a very interesting chart. What this tells us is, for a given hit percentage, or you can call it the winner percentage or success percentage, this is the maximum likely losing streak if you do 1000 trades. So for example, if I'm trading a system which has an accuracy of 50%, then 1000 trades, there is a possibility that I will get 10 losing trades in a row at least one time. So there is some mathematical simulation that goes on behind calculating all of this. I think it's Carlo simulation. A lot of work has been done on that. But this is the sum and substance of it, that for any trading system, we should be aware of what is the maximum possible losing streak. What generally happens with, it happened with me as well early on. when we start trading a system, we are not aware of this number, and when we hit a losing streak, we feel that the system is not working, and we move on to a we leave that system then and there and move on to some other system, and that system also works well for a few months, and then again it will have a losing streak, and again we'll hop onto a new system. So we should not do that. This is a problem which is faced by many system traders who are already trading systems. You should always be aware of what is the maximum possible losing streak in any given system.
Very
So
good insight. This is something which even I didn't know, and you are saying that this has been done empirically. This number has been arrived at, and people can more or less look at this number to judge, right?
absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, that's interesting.